Ladies and gentlemen, and all creatures who accidentally pressed A too fast and picked the wrong starter, welcome back to the channel. This is the Night Vision Phantom bringing you another round of video. Today we're diving into Johto, land of ruins, kimono girls, and sketchy slowpoke tail vendors. Now, Gen 2 gave us a lot. Day-night cycles, breeding, held items, and lifelong emotional baggage at Whitney's gym. If you know, you know. But beyond the mechanics, Johto brought a wave of designs that were chef's kiss cute, elegant, bizarre, and occasionally who allowed this thing to exist. Today we're taking a whimsical look at which of these adorable, majestic, or suspiciously goo-shaped Pokemon are legitimately the most aesthetically pleasing. And yes, this is all entirely subjective based on vibes, design harmony, and whatever emotions were awakened within us at age 7. So grab your Poke gear, pack your snacks, and let's stroll through the Johto region one more time as we crown the coolest, cutest, cuck-iest, and crappiest Pokemon of Generation 2. Let's get started. Alright, and just as a recap of how my tier system works, I'm grading Pokemon on 4 different categories. One is cool, which is self-explanatory, which one actually looks appealing and awesome. We have cute, which is a step down in my opinion, but by no means necessarily bad. Some are intentionally supposed to be adorable. And then we have the cuck tier, which is where things start going south. These are the Pokemon that are the uninspired, the plain, the basic. No thought really was probably put into them, and so they're just here from the real world. And then finally we have the crap tier, which is self-explanatory. Ones that just look awful, ones that if you saw them you would never want to look at it, never want to touch it, never want to use it in combat. You can just tell just by looking at it that it probably has a crappy skill set anyways. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's start off with Chikorita, which is admittedly cute. Nothing wrong there. Then we have Bayleaf, which is kind of cool cute, but I think it still falls in the cute category. And then we have Meganium, which I would say, I'd say it's probably cool. Probably kind of with a hint of cuteness in there too. Alright, then we have Cyndaquil, which is clearly cute. We have Pilava there, which is, I think, trying to be cool, but still just comes off as cute. And then we have Typhlosion, which is, I think, clearly the cool Pokemon there. And then we have Totodile, which is clearly cute. It seems like there's going to be a lot of cuteness here, at least in the beginning. And then we have, who's this? Croconaw. Actually, you know what? Yeah, okay, you're cute. Barely. You barely passed the cute test there. You're not really that cute in my opinion, but you're there. You actually look more like a first stage Pokemon than a second one, at least based on this image. And then Feraligatr, yeah, you're actually pretty cool. And forgive my pronunciation on some of these Pokemon as well, as some of them I've never heard their names uttered out loud. I'm just going by their written, how I presume they're pronounced out loud. Alright, then we have Sentret, which, yeah, I would say you're cute. You might argue that you're a cuck, but you look a little bit different than your typical forest critter Pokemon, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. However, in a rare turn of events, I'm actually giving, what is this, Ferret? There we go, Ferret. You're actually a cuck because you just look like a glorified ferret, as the name implies. So, who do we have next? We have Hoot Hoot, which you're a cuck. You just look like an owl. Same thing with you there, Noctowl. You look pretty much identical. You're just a more intimidating looking plain owl. And let's see, Ladybug. Yeah, you're just a ladybug. You kind of stink. And then you, Ledian, I think this is how you pronounce it. I guess you'll go in. You're not even really that cool. You're not cool or cute, and you're not a cuck, and you're not crap. You have an okay design. I say you're probably more cute than anything. If you have any other ideas for other tiers that can kind of accommodate that still fits the theme of a four-letter word starting with a C, then by all means, don't get any dirty-minded ideas. But let's see. Then we have Spinnerack. Yeah, you're just another typical. You're a typical spider. And Ariados, you know what? You're just a bigger spider, more intimidating spider. Still, you're not that cool. Crobat, okay. You know what? I thought Golbat was really ugly looking, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, you're cool. I actually like your design. Then we have Chincho. I believe this is how you're pronounced. I guess you're supposed to be cute. And the same thing with Lantern. I think you're alright. You're not really cool looking, but you're there. Pichu, you're clearly designed to be cute. Cleffa, admittedly, I don't find you that cute. You're not cuck, so I'm going to call you kind of a crap design. Igglybuff, you're cute, but you're kind of in the crap category almost too in terms of design, but I think you pass just barely. Alright, and then we have Togepi, which I actually think is cute. I actually like the Togepi line of creatures, and I think you're also cute, Togetic. So you're a little bit better. A lot of cutes in this tier. Then we have Natu. You know what? I'm gonna say you're probably crap. You're just like a tiny little bird. You know what? Never mind. I'll say you're cute too, but like angrily cute, not really. Zatu, you're okay. Nothing special. So I'll say you're more of a cute Pokemon than anything. Here comes one of my favorite line, one of the Pokemon lines that I like the most. I like Mareep, who is clearly cute. You have Floppy here, which admittedly, I don't really care for your design that much. I'll hate to say it's my favorite line, but I don't like the way Tier 2 looks. Now, Tier 3, like I said, Ampharos, you're one of my favorite Pokemon. You're in my top 10 Hall of Fame. Just personally, I like you for a plethora of reasons. Your design, your abilities, other forms that you might have. Alright, so now we have, coming up, we have Blossom here. I believe that's Blossom. Yes. Blossom, you're supposed to be cute there, so there we go. Next we have Marill and Azumarill. Marill, you're supposed to be cute, obviously, and Azumarill, yeah, you're supposed to be cute also. Not really that cute, to be honest, but you're designed to be cute. Sudowoodo, you're just crap. I don't even know why they put you in the game. That you have one junk gimmick to your character design, and that's it. Politoed, you're also you're just a cuck though. You're just a toad. That's it. Same thing with the I want to say that with the next line there, the Hopip line. You know what? There's nothing inspiring about you. You're just vegetation. I'll say this for both of you. You know what? I'll give the third tier a cute pass because you actually look somewhat reasonable, I guess, for Pokemon. The third stage evolution, you're okay. Nothing special. Then we have Apom, which is I'll say you're a cuck because you're just a monkey with a big foot as a tail. There's really nothing. It's like someone could just threw you together. That's what the cuck tier basically is. And then we have, let's see, who else is on the list? Sunkern. Yeah, you're just a sunflower seed. Yeah, Sunflora, you're just a sunflower. Nothing special to any of you. And that's what I hate about a lot of Pokemon is why would you want to go out of your way and capture a sunflower or a sunflower seed? You already know that just based on looking at it, they're not going to evolve to anything cool. You already know a lot of plant-based abilities. Not, so yeah, nothing special. And then we have Yanma. Even though dragonflies are my favorite insect, you're just a dragonfly, Yanma, so you're going into the cuck tier. Sorry. And then Wooper and Quagsire, both of you are ugly. I would never choose you just based on your appearances. Both of you are trash. Now we have... What else is next on the list? Okay, here we go. We have Espeon. Espeon, you're actually pretty cool. I'll say both you, Espeon and Umbreon. You're both appealing to me, so you get the cool tier there. Murkrow, I'll say I was debating on whether or not to pull you in the pool tier or the cuck tier. Yeah, you're just a cuck. You're just a crow with a little hat like puff on your head. So you don't get anything special there. All right, Slowking. Yeah, you're crap. I would never choose you. Just looking at you, I'm ignoring you. A Mischievous. Actually, you know what? I'll say even though you look cute, I say you actually look kind of cool. I would probably still not pick you, but I like your appearance. You look kind of cool. All right, then we have Unknown, which I think as a gimmick Pokemon, never to be used. You know what? Fine. I'll give you a passing grade as you're a cuck. You're not inspired, you're just a letter of the alphabet. But at least your design is cool, so you get at least a little bit of creds there. Alright, so Wobbuffet. I think that's another case of you were intentionally designed to be. It wasn't just that someone slopped you together. You're still crap. You still look like crap, but you're not necessarily bad. Girafarig. This is an interesting one. You were intentionally designed. I like the idea behind it, actually, but it's just a giraffe with a different half. You know what? I'll say for being menacing, you're kind of cute. You're going the cute tier, fine. Pineco, you go in the cuck tier. No explanation needed. Oratris, I'll actually say you look kind of cool. You're nothing special. I'll never use you in battle, but you're not bad. Alright, who do we have next? We have Dunsparce, which you're crap. I would never choose you. Just looking at you, I would never choose you in battle. I already know you're just junk. Then we have, hoping I'm saying this right, Gligar, which you look cool. I guess you look cute, but I would never use you in battle. Just looking at you, I can tell you're probably not that useful. Now, Steelix. Steelix, you're still a junk Pokemon, but I like your design, admittedly. I would never use you in battle. I already know the Steelix line, and you're not much better. But just for design, this is an aesthetic video, so there you go. Then we have Snubbull, which you're cuck. And then we have Grapple, which you're just more of the same. You're still just a bulldog with bigger teeth, tusks. All right. Let's see, who do we have next? We have Quillfish. You know what? I'm giving you cuck tier also. You're nothing special. No, this is Scizor. Or Sizer. I'm gonna say, you know what? You look pretty cool. I would never still use you. I still never use you, but you're going there. You look pretty cool. All right, Shuckle. You're absolute crap. I'll never use you. Just looking at you, I immediately know to throw you away. Heracross, you know what? I like the way rhinoceros beetles look. They're probably in my other top half of cool-looking insects. But the sad point is, you're just a rhinoceros beetle. So you're going in the cuck tier, nothing special. Then we have Sneasel, which I don't know what are you supposed to be anyways? I don't know. You're kind of in the cool. You're not. You're a unique design, and you don't look like crap, but you're not cool or cute. But I think you're meant to be cool. I might change you up a little bit later. You're okay looking. Then we have Teddy Ursa, which you're clearly a cuck, and then Ursa Ring, you're less of a cuck, but still so. You're both just bears. Like, Yeah, you look cool. I might use Petty Ursa in battle, but you're just boring looking. Nothing special. Then we have Slugma, which, okay, you're cute, I guess. And then, actually, I'm gonna go a different route here and put Macargo here in the cuck tier. You're just a fire snail. At least Slugma looks cool, or cute, I should say. He gets that, but you don't look cute at all, and you're just a snail. So, too bad for you. And we have Swinub, which you look like. I wouldn't use either of you. Both of you look like junk. I would never use either of you. Then Corsola, yeah, you're supposed to look cute, so you'll go there. And then Remoraid, yeah, you're just a cuck. And Octillery, you look like crap. No, you look like a cuck to me. You're a cuctopus. So you go there. You're just plain real world inspiration. You don't look like anything special. Sorry about that. And we have Delibird, which you're a cuck. You're just presumably an emperor penguin, from what I can tell. All right. Then we have Mantine, which, yeah, you're going in the cuck tier. You're just a manta ray. Nothing special. Skarmory, you know what? I actually like the way Skarmory looks. It looks pretty decent to me. It's a steel bird. That's what matters. Houndour, I debated on whether or not to put you in the cool or cute or cuck tier. You can fit kind of in any three category. You're supposed to look like a cute Doberman, but you could also you're trying to look cool and intimidating, but also you're just a Doberman. So I'm putting you in the cuck tier. Nothing against you. I actually like your move list, from what I've seen. And then Houndour, you know what? You're going in the cool tier. You're fine. You're safe for now. Kingdra, you know what? I'll give you cool. I think you're much better than the other seahorse lines. Let's see, who else do we have? Porygon? No, not Porygon. Where's Porygon? Did he not make the list? Is he not on this list? Did I forget to put him there? Okay, I think Porygon might be missing. But if Porygon were here, Porygon 2, I should say, he would. Oh, never mind. Porygon's right there. Okay. Phanpy, you're next. I'm giving you. Where are you going? Oh yeah, you're going in the cuck tier for sure. You're just an elephant, an uninspired elephant. Now, Phanpy to. What do you think? What is your name? Donphan. You are going in the cool tier. I will admit, you look pretty cool. I would never use you, but hey, you look cool. Next we have Porygon 2. There we go. Porygon 2. Sorry, you're kind of in the. I'll say you're in the cute tier. You're supposed to look cute, but I would never use you. Stantler. Yeah, you're just a deer. With more impressive horns, or antlers, I should say. Alright, Smeargle, I don't know what you're supposed to be. You're very uninspiring, so I'll just put you in the cuck tier. You just look like some generic creature with the tail, specialized tail, like Apom there. Nothing unusual, nothing special. Alright, then we have Tyrogue, which you just look like a little human. Almost deformed human, kinda, so nothing cool there. And then Hitmontop, you know what? I'll actually say you look pretty cool. I'll give you that. I would never use you, but I like your design a little bit. Alright, and then here we have Smoochum, which, you know what? I'll say you look cute. You're an abomination when you get older, or grow up. So stay small, trust me. Elekid, I just don't like your design. Actually just simply don't like your design, so I'm sorry to say, both you and Magby share the same thing. Miltank, you're as cuck can get, so sorry about that. You're just a cow. And then we have Blissey, which is meant to be cute. Then we have Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. I'll just put you all three together. I'll just put you here, then here, then here. All three of you are intended to be cool. I like all three of your designs. So anytime they're supposed to be legendary for the most part, they either fall into the really cool. It seems that here we go. It seems that the cool Pokemon are the legendaries, while the mythical Pokemon are in the cute tier. That's what I seem to notice. All right, and here we have something that I think is interesting for their line. We have Larvitar. We have Larvitar, which I think you're intimidatingly cute. And we have Pupitar, which I'll actually say you look bizarrely cool. I like your design as far as a mid-stage Pokemon is concerned. And the same thing for Tyranitar. You get bonus points for that. Same thing with Lugia. Same thing with Ho-Oh. You're both really cool. And then we have Celebi here, who is supposed to be cute. Alright, and then we have these leftover, I don't know what kind of Pokemon you would call these. These are just extras that were left in the tier list. I can't figure out how to get rid of them, but they're not going to be factored into my tier. Other than that, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is my personal list of cool, cute, cucked, and crap Pokemon. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments, and I'd be glad to take your feedback. So other than that, this is the Night Vision Phantom. I hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Take care.